Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to create a Christmas card for you. But before that, let's tiptoe back into fall season when I made this fall inspired door card. It's so pretty. I love how this turned out. It ended up being one of my favorite cards for fall season. And when I was making that card, which I'll link that video for you so that you can see me create that, but I was showing you in that video that this die set not only had some autumn elements, but it also had some winter and Christmas elements. So most of you wanted me to go ahead and show you how I would style and create that card. So here I am fulfilling that promise. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to use this large die to create the door card. That's the door shaped card. So it just takes one die to run through, but it is rather large. So I'm grabbing my Spellbinders Platinum 6 because it has some larger cutting plates, and I'll link those cutting plates down for you so that you can see which ones they are, because there is a set that's quite longer and it's perfect for this card. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll construct that card in a little bit, but let's just get all of our die cutting done first. So I'm going to show you all of the colors that I'm going to use. Feel free to grab your color palette that you wish to use, but I took quite a while trying to decide which colors I wanted to use and what kind of was my style, and I love how this ended up turning out. So I'll link every single color choice for you down below. That way, if you like any of these colors, either for other projects or if you want to recreate this particular card, then you know exactly what colors that you need to pull. Okay, so this is a really pretty pink color, and I usually go ahead and omit red and do a pink instead. I'm not really of a red girl, so I usually do like a pink or a coral in its place. And then I'm going to do a gold glitter cardstock for the little door handles, and then a craft cardstock for these sweet little pots that are going to go to the left and right of the door. So those are the colors I chose, and I love that color palette. It's super, super pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and construct this card. So the first thing that I'm going to do is fold in the sides to create those little folding doors, and the die that I used actually does place a score mark where you need to fold, so it's super easy, super user friendly. All you're going to do is just fold on those lines, and then I'm using a bold folder just to go ahead and increase those sides down really nicely. Okay, so before I flip this over, I'm going to actually kind of do this upside down for this first part, just because it's easier for me to position the doors. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those mint doors on, and you can put the openings back in, so you can glue all those little rectangles back inside if you wanted more of a solid door. But I'm going to have it look like glass window panes at the top, so I'm going to leave those open, though at the bottom I will go ahead and glue those pieces back in. So there is a larger rectangle that cuts out, but then there is another smaller nesting rectangle that you can put right in the middle, and it's really pretty because it makes it look like a little wood pane. And I love, or not wood pane, but like more of a panel. I love how that looks. I think it's such an intentional little design choice for this little door set. Okay. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. And again, it's just easier for me to have my card upside down when I'm doing this part. But now I'm going to go ahead and fold it and turn it over, because now it's going to help me to have my doors closer together so that I can get everything even and equal from here on out. So here we are, just gluing everything together. There's lots of gluing in this project, and there's also a lot of little pieces. So you're going to want to make sure you grab a pair of tweezers. It's really going to help save you here. Some of these pieces get really fine and intricate, so it's nice to have some tweezers to help with positioning and just to get your fingers out of the equation too. Okay, I'm going to dab off the glue a little bit on some of these finer, small pieces. That way the glue doesn't seep out the edges, but it also gives the glue more of just a tacky feel, so that it just tacks those little pieces into place without just gobs of glue everywhere. And now I'm going to do my little gold pulls. I'll do the same thing here too, where I'm going to add more of drop glue on the top and bottom, but then dab it off in the middle. That way it just doesn't get all messy once it's laid down on the card. I love how this turns out. It's so pretty. I did go ahead and use the same style pulls for this door like I did last time, because I love how big they are. They're just big and intentional. And if this was my front door, this is exactly how I would wish it would look. It's so pretty. All right, so the bows are one of the funnest little elements of this card. So they come in 3 pieces, which is so neat. The design of this die is so fun because once you layer them one on top of the next, it creates this little folded look, and they just look so realistic. So I love how that looks. And then in this little middle part is for the knot. So once you get them all layered, they just look so dimensional and realistic. So bravo, Concord and Ninth. I love how these bows were designed. They're very fun. And then I'm going to place these on my little wreaths. And once I put this watermelon color against that green, I love the contrast and I think they coordinate really playfully together. So fun. I love this palette. I'm going to have to remember this and recreate it on some other Christmas cards because I'm really loving the vibe here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of visually place things where I think they need to go. And then I'm going to start with the little bushes to the left and right of the door. That way I can get those placed down, but then I can also position my wreaths second so that they aren't too close, right? We don't want them everything bunched too close together. At least I don't. So I found it easier to do the little potted plants first. That way I could figure out how high to put my wreaths with those bows dangling from the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put those to the left and right as well. It's really coming together. Isn't it fun? I love that the more you glue and the more you place all of your pieces, everything just starts coming to life. I love die cut projects like this, but I have to admit the reason I'm doing a voiceover is because I like to sit back and watch a show while I do stuff like this because it takes a lot of work to bring a card like this together, and sometimes it's nice to pair that with a nice show and just relax. Okay, so for the little sentiment here, there is a bigger banner die, but I'm going to go for the smaller one for this door. The bigger one I used for my fall card, I'm going to go with the smaller one because I want it to resemble somewhat of a wreath sign. I like to put little signs in real life on my wreaths on my front door, and so I wanted to do something similar for this little fictional door on this card. So I'm going to go ahead and do some heat embossing. So I grabbed some craft cardstock and then I did some anti-static powder. I went ahead and used Versamark to stamp that down, and then I'm going to do my powder here real quick. This is the embossing powder, and I'm going to go ahead and do that a couple times. That way I get some really good coverage. And then we're going to grab our heat tool and heat this up so that it melts. And I love how this ends up turning out. It's just really pretty. It's very, very dainty. And again, it comes with a tiny little banner die that you can use to cut around it, which I think is super fun. So I'm going to go ahead and just tape that die into place so it doesn't shift. You want to make sure it's really even here. It's kind of hard to position, but make sure you use a couple pieces of tape and you're good to go. And then I'm going to cut this out and place this in one of my wreaths. And I really like this little design choice, but you can also, again, do that bigger banner and kind of have it draped over the doors like I did in my last card. That was kind of a fun little design choice as well. So I'm going to tuck it right in here, and I just got like the warm and fuzzies when I glued this in there because it just looks so cute. So you know you have done the right thing when you get super excited about a certain element of your card. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just bring some shine and sparkle, and I'm going to do that in the form of kind of doing some little berries on these greenery pieces and these wreaths. I love how that looks. It brings some shine, it brings some sparkle, and it just turns out being such a fun card. So there is the winter inspired card. I hope you enjoyed watching this. And again, here they are side by side. I love that you have one big die set, but that you can do multiple seasons. I think that is super fun. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next video. Can't wait to continue crafting with you.